Hello everyone, today we're going to discuss the period which is called the 3 weeks, Bein HaMetsarim, the 3 weeks between the 17th of Tammuz, Tammuz is a sign of Cancer in the Hebrew calendar, and the 9th of Av, the 9th day of the month of Leo in the Hebrew calendar. These 3 weeks are considered to be the most negative days of the year, 21 days. Now, in the Hebrew tradition, we can find a lot of restrictions connecting to these 3 weeks. It's called 3 weeks of mourning. What does it mean mourning? It's a mourning period, which means no weddings, no buying new houses, no buying new clothes, no eating new fruits. So many restrictions during these 3 weeks. Why? So many terrible things happened during these 3 weeks. The day that starts these 3 weeks is the 17th of Tammuz. This is the day that the Israelites have done the sin of the golden calf. This is the day there was a decree that they will die in the desert for 40 years, and only after 40 years they can come into the promised land. Many other things happened on this day. Also the walls of Jerusalem broke and the destruction started. And that concluded in the 9th day of Av, 3 weeks later on. That is the day that the destruction of the first temple in the year 586 BCE happened. Second temple on the 9th day of Av in the year 70. The destruction of Beitar, which was 65 years later, on the same day, the 9th of Av. The end of the rebellion of Bar Kokhba. The expulsion of the Jews from Spain in 1492 was also on the 9th of Av, the same day of the destruction of the temples. And earlier, when the decree of the spies was there, the decree, this is the decree about dying in the desert for 40 years and not coming to the promised land, that was on the 9th day of Av too. So many terrible things happen on these 3 weeks and more. These are the big ones and the most famous ones. There's a long list. Since then, it's a period of mourning. However, if we come to the Kabbalistic wisdom, we understand that this is a very dangerous place. The place of mourning. What does it mean, dangerous place? In Parashat Kitavo, in the book of Deuteronomy, the parasha of the curses, if we don't behave the right way we do not go in the ways of the Creator, then we'll be plagued with so many curses. And then it says, why? Because you did not go in the ways of the Creator with happiness and good heart. This is it. Which means, when we are sad, depressed, we're not in the way of God. That's for sure. Rabbi Chaim Vital, the student of the Ari, says, being depressed and sad, this is criminal. Why? Why criminal? Because all the sins come out of this. What does it mean? The only way we can connect to the light of the Creator is when we are excited and happy about what we do. The Ari is saying, you cannot achieve anything. All of the wisdom of the studying of the Torah, observing the mitzvot, connecting to light, if it's not done through excitement and happiness, you didn't connect to anything, you don't get the light, you achieve nothing. So why does it say it's a period of mourning? Now we have to understand what mourning is about. Mourning is not about being depressed. It's not about being sad. So terrible things happened so many years ago. Me being sad, is that going to help the ones who died? No way. Is that going to help me? No way. Is that going to help the people that are around me? No way. Kabbalah is very practical. So what's practical about mourning? Mourning is about being careful. 3 weeks like this, 21 days. These are days that are imbued with a lot of power. We know that a big shell shows about a big fulfillment. There's a big filling in there that the shell is covering. The shell is not the substance. What's inside is a substance. A big shell is a sign for something is hidden over there. These 3 weeks contain huge amount of power. Can you imagine if Moses came from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets, and there was no sin of the golden calf? 17th of Tammuz will become the biggest day in the history of mankind. The day of the end of misery, suffering, death, diseases, war, hatred, separation. Humanity is coming into enlightenment on the 17th of Tammuz. It's a great day. Could be a great day. Which means 2 sides to every event. The 9th day of Av, if the Israelites did not cry and listen to the spies, and they will listen to Moses and go into the Holy Land, to the Promised Land with excitement, with certainty, that will be the day that Messiah has come. The end of misery and suffering. The 9th day of Av. Not a day of destruction. A day of enlightenment to all of mankind. What do we learn from that? In a place that you have high voltage and you get burned already a few times, you have to be more careful. Getting married is high voltage. Now, adding high voltage to a period that is high voltage anyway, a lot of people get really into danger in time of, high voltage like this. Weddings, signing contracts, buying a house, major steps in our lives that can drain all your life energy. And then you can do terrible things because you're simply not responsible for what you're doing. Mourning period, according to Kabbalah, is a period to be very careful. Very, very careful when you come to decisions during these three weeks. You have to ask yourself, is it coming out of despair, out of anger, out of loss of control? Wait till these 3 weeks are over and discuss it later. Instead, you have to work during these 3 weeks to inject love, kindness, tolerance, patience, because the only reason all of these disasters happen during these 3 weeks is when people were too much into egotism, into themselves, into their emotions, and then the destruction happens. You want to fix it, and this is the time to fix it? Be careful. Walk carefully. Be careful with your emotions, with your decisions. And if you want to know more about all the gifts the Kabbalists are giving to us, which are special meditations, special instructions of what to do, how to do during these 3 weeks, and more about those special days between the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av, the ceremonies, the meditation and so on, you can find it in the more expanded lectures on the site. Thank you, and a lot of success.